US crude oil futures are rising now. Seeing investors here eyeing colder US and European weather forecasts.
Hello, hello. I'm a bit lost, but if we were going to bounce, this is where I'd want it to happen. I'm unsure if we have enough bids here, though. But this is where I'd want a strong buyer to be if they were going to be into our AV WAPs across the board. My concern is that we've basically double topped on both ES and NQ. And I think that we potentially need to fully come back through this candle. Right now we're holding POC, which is why I'm interested to see if buyers are going to bid here. You can see this is where the POC of this candle is from our upside candle, right? So if we were going to bid, I'd want it to be here, and then we rotate back up to 474, right? That should be your first target. I'm just a bit concerned with how passive everything is right now. I think that there's a pretty high chance that if we can't get over 74s or even get there in the first place, that we do something like this and then need to come down first before we can go higher. So I'm just going to keep an eye on how our interaction here is from this 46 POC test and how we interact up into our 74 level above 7074 on NQ. Hmm. I don't know what a Michelangelo top zone is, but we just hit our 74 target. So let's see how our offer is. Need to see very strong bids above this, or expect this to be where your seller is sitting. This is resistance across the board on ES, RTY, and Q. RTY leading here, downside wise, pressure. We rejected our value edge on RTY. We rejected our 74s on NQ. NQ and ES still very passive. Bids holding decently. Watching to see how much further the Russell falls. How much time do we have left? 2.5 minutes on this candle. I'm out 1 here on NQ for 10 points into 64, and I have 1 runner left from 74 average. Mm, 56 is first target here into our stacked 3-bid reversal line, and then below that is 37 next target. We're going to make a new low. Unsure yet. But this is 20 points here from our 74. Again, this is first target at our stacked 3-bid reversal line. We want to see this become resistance, and if we do, good chance that we push below these lows and come down into this like 35, 36 area. Until then, you are trapped between the POC here from this 45 and the POC here at this 74, 77 area. RTY, again, leading down, retesting our lows. ES about halfway through, and Q about halfway through as of right now. 30 seconds until new 15s. Move stops down, retesting our lows. Russell new low. ES and NQ almost at our target at 45 to 35. Morning, Cass. Yeah, I'm sorry you're sick. This new strain does not seem pleasant. I am really scared I'm going to get it as well. Very scared. Last strain knocked me out for like 2 weeks, so I'm hoping that we don't. It's gotta suck having COVID during New Year's. I'm sure that was like one of your busiest days for your restaurant. What's up, Kels? Gotta get below this 50, guys. We should aim for that 35, 36 target. Until then, we've got some light absorption here. Just looking to see if we can push down. I'd like to see a decent reoffer of 50s, and then a rejection, basically showing us that this buyer that's here is no longer wanting or interested. So looking for a bit of a small bid and then a rejection into this node, and then ideally one more leg down. We'll see what happens. Regardless, short from 74s was good, and we are almost at our full target into our 36. Everything's back to our PVZ anchored VWAPs, our gray clouds here. Cass, what's your restaurant's name again? Bruce is asking in Discord. Cafe 37, Bruce. NJ. Balance is persisting so far. Gotta wait for Russell to find resistance again and lose some of that momentum before we get this continuation. We are looking for buyers to show a bit of excitement over 60s if they want to rotate this fully back up to our POC shift and back up to the high. A downtrend persistence would just be Russell rejecting 7130, ES rejecting into our 75s, and NQ rejecting into these 60s. So just keeping an eye on this. Again, we're just trading balance between this POC from our upside candle and this POC from our resistance, and we're now looking to see if sell side has shifted to hold here now, right? How can we tell where sell side is most likely going to be? Well, we're looking at our footprint and we're seeing where POC resides on our previous candle, and we're watching for this shift down, right? So lower highs, POC held as resistance here at 74s. POC is now holding as resistance at 60s. We're looking to see if that trend continues for downtrend. If we continue to fail to bid and hold above our 60 or POC of our previous candle, we should expect that downtrend persists. If we can recover 60s, we should look for a move up to 74s again. So just waiting it out right now. Watching to see if we get a loss of momentum again in ES and RTY, as well as NQ. RTY pushing into target now. ES higher low. NQ higher low. Russell higher low so far. Need to see how we interact here into our halfway backs. We are at our resistance. Slow market. Oh my god, my footprints just reset. RTY still pushing. I don't know if we're gonna get the last down leg. We'll see what happens here into our value edge on Russell. Without that loss of momentum, it's gonna be very hard for sell side to push down for NQ and ES. I'm looking for this to occur, trap, and then pop down if it was going to be bearish. We'll see. Just into our halfway back now. We need to see sell side pressure. There's nothing really here at NQ other than we're holding our lower edge and we are trying to make a higher low. We need to show a willingness to trade and bid over this 60. Again, remember 60 is our LVN and our POC from previous candle. If we can trade above, we should be able to bid back through this LVN and rotate back up to our node high into our 7074. But until then, you have sell side pressure above us with the overall downtrend that we're trading in. But it is still very choppy without market showing sell side pressure. So just keep that in mind. You want to see a pretty instantaneous bid at this like 55.60 here on this look above if we're going to trade the LVN for this rotation. If not, we're just going to trap into our halfway back, and then this will cause a rotation, right, with these guys being offsides, and then we look for a reoffer here and a rotation through. Russell showing a bit of weakness into our halfway back so far. ES as well. NQ still holding. We're just waiting. Very slow. We need to see a break. I would say that unless you're in from 74s, you just want to kind of be patient here. Yeah, it's just a little too slow while we wait. Need that Russell confirmation break of our higher lows for push down. No better trigger than that Russell leading down. Until then, you just are rotating That being said, you need to see a very clear look and hold above 60s for that rotation back up to 74. And then that's just the top of our balance. Right now, we're just trading the mid, right? So if this is our high of balance, this is our low of balance, this is the middle. So how you interact with this area is, are we holding above the mid and building? Are we holding below the mid and building? Then we know where we're headed, right? This gives you an opportunity to attempt to play this area from our mid resistance back down to our support. But the better trade, of course, is always going to be into our edges. What's up, Darian? What's up, Dubs? Just waiting it out. Russell retesting our wick low. See if it starts to lead down on a break. Yes, it was a unit that was not being used at the time, and two of the sprinklers in the unit started to spray water everywhere. And then it started leaking down into the first floor. So thankfully there was no one in that unit, but that's terrifying. You should have heard, dude, the sound that all of the water pipes were making echoing in the fire escape stairs was insane. It like the entire building sounded like I don't even know how to describe the sound. It was so ominous. This is first target here off of our 60s back down to our 46. Watching to see if Russell continues to lead to the downside with weakness. Yeah, you have to have renter's insurance to live here, or they won't accept your application. What kind of insurance? You just pay like, I don't know, like 10, 15 bucks a month, Dubs, and it protects, it's like a limited liability thing. So you, it depends on like how much valuables you have inside your unit, but it basically just protects from damage and theft and fire. So you get a quote based off of what you own, and then it protects that amount of damage. Nah, it's super cheap. Renter's insurance is super cheap. Definitely worth having. This is RTY into target. This is POC as well as previous day value high as well as VWAP. So expecting a bit of a bid here from Russell. If this doesn't show as supportive, this is going to lead to our breakdown of NQ and ES from our very tight ranges that we are trading in. Again, this is this area that we're looking to see how we interact into. I could see us needing to retest some of this action above. I don't really have a great level to retest above those. I'm interested to see if sell side just kind of gains pressure or not. Again, the overall target here from this move from 74s or from 60s is a push down into 35s is what I was looking for. I'm unsure if we get that. We're just retesting our bottom edge here on NQ, so it makes for a very good first risk off with Russell into our support here at previous day value and VWAP. Expect a bit of chop. The 266 level is from yesterday or the day before. It was our resistance, our top of balance. I wouldn't worry about it too much. If you look back on PVZ, you see that we have like 1, 2, 3, 4 stacked POCs here from our balance. So once we push below, it just kind of interacts as a area of like, oh, okay, we're now kind of in our sell side regime for short term. So this is where I'd be looking for an offer to be. But again, don't worry about it too much. I need to redo the Russell levels. The level that matters, I'm actually just going to move this down, is again just where we're targeting here, where we were expecting the bounce into 65.4. And your level above is this 71.30. And we will just do this. We're looking for our offer to be here. Yeah, but it's definitely worth having dubs if you don't. Too much crazy, unexpected things can happen in apartment buildings.
So in 10 minutes time now at the top of the hour, see the release of the weekly US Baker Hughes rig count numbers. Oil rigs saw a prior of 483, while total rigs saw a prior of 589.
Russell coming back up to resistance. Watch to see if offer persists. We're going to just delete this. Again, we're just trading our lower balance to our mid of a balance, and we're seeing if we can get this rotation or not. Just using the Russell as an oscillator. I will not be attempting 60s again until we see the look below. I just think we come back up for a full balance rotation. Delete these lines now that we've made this just a box itself. That's your LVN fill, as far as I'm concerned, on NQ. What you want to see is basically bids at 60s for rotations up to that 74-80 area. If we were going to hold the mid now. If not, then just we're expecting a full rotation. Keep an eye on Russell for loss of momentum. If that can't hold a higher low and that continues to just rotate down, then we shouldn't expect a mid bid. Pretty solid bid and hold of our 60 level on NQ. Rotation back up into our resistance here above. Just at our 74, right? Our offer is sitting here. Our bid is really attempting to try to build at this 60 to 65.
So just keep in mind the US House of Representatives begins the vote to elect a speaker now.
See if we can hold.
In 5 minutes' time now, at the top of the hour, see the release of the US weekly Baker Hughes rig count numbers. Oil rigs saw a prior of 483, while total rigs saw a prior of 589.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird, Darren.
Shortly expecting the results from the Baker Hughes rig count.
Mhm.
So Baker Hughes oil rig count 482, 482, and total rig count 589, 589.
Another rejection of our top of range here at 74s. No change in our balance. Watching to see our reoffer of 60s for a rotation back down to our lows if we're going to do the full balance trade. $60 retest here, watching to see if offer will stick or not. Russell was able to hold the higher low. Interesting. I am personally not touching this until we get a break. We've played the rotation from 74 down to 46 already once. We played the 60 for 10. Now it's just a matter of waiting it out. Without excess, I just am not very interested in trading chop without a new high or a new low. No great entry without a re-entry inside balance from the outside. I think that the bid at 60s makes sense if you're going to play the rotation up with Russell leading. But again, I'm not touching it, but that's what I'd be looking for is this hold into 58.60 area. If buy side serious. Again, I want to see some sort of excess, someone get trapped so I can trade with it. Without it, it just looks choppy. All right. Man, why are Stroop waffles so good? Underrated, for sure. How much money do you guys think Mariah Carey makes every year from her Christmas songs? 17 bucks? Nice. It's crazy that she gets sent to the top every year around this time. Free money glitch. All right, Shirley, this is the one. Back to our 74 edge here on NQ. Russell still holding our highs. Yes, top of range. Get me out. 5 minutes left on these candles.
shortly expecting the results of the Fed reverse repo operation. $57 counterparties take $237.377 billion at the Fed reverse repo operation. So one Republican US representative votes against Mike Johnson for House Speaker, but the voting continues.
All right, let's do it. Let's see if we can get out. Russell leading up. Watching our value edge here on RTY to see if a bid has any interest whatsoever. This looks pretty good on NQ bid-wise. But yeah, pretty interested if we can start to bid over 85s from our hold of 74s now with POC here. And then we'd be going for this liquidity up at 500, 505.
According to a senior Hamas official, Hamas says a new round of ceasefire talks resumed in Doha today and adds it is serious to reach a deal in the nearest time possible.
Russell retesting our value edge is supportive. NQ testing our 85, trying to make this a bid. Yes, into our value high. I'd like to see bids hold this like 74 to 80 area if we are going to continue. Anything lower than that, just we're going to want to wait for a look below and then a recovery. So let's see if the bid can hold here and if we can get back above. Again, if this doesn't hold into our 74 edge, I'm just kind of expecting that we're going to need to fill back down to like 64 for a liquidity grab, and then we'll have to recover something like this. And with this action, we're now back inside balance, and then there's the potential for this to rotate down. So it's pretty important that buyers show this interest here at 74 to 80. Yeah. The one that's pinned should be updated. it's it's a balancing act between memes and useful information. I think if it was up to Mario, it would only be memes. It's your first risk off if you're playing off 74s or are rebid over 80. Now back into our 85 resistance. I'd love to see this 85 go supportive for this full rotation up into 500, 505 with Russell leading us and holding our value edge. See if we can get a bit more here. I don't know how he was attempting to still be on his computer with COVID. Maybe he just doesn't get as like sick as I do, but it seems like he got worse after he tried that. You just gotta sleep, man. Yeah, he was still attempting to play PoE. It's like with a fever and with like bronchitis. Just like go to bed, man. What are you doing? Just go to bed. Two minutes left on this candle. Bid is currently sitting at 80, 85. We're trying to make this supportive for this push up into 500s for a secondary leg from our hold of our 74. Something to keep in mind that, yes, our target on NQ is up into this 500 if we can hold here. But if Russell loses momentum as we push into our reversion box, we need to look for pullbacks and respect that. That if this loss of momentum happens into 77.3, that the move is shorter lived on NQ until we can show a willingness to trade in this upper area. Once we do, we can then trade up into our ADR, up into 82s, but expect some bit of resistance here on Russell, just off of our reversion. I am going to risk off one contract here on NQ, and then just leave a runner for our push up into our liquidity above. New average is sitting at 84. Took off the 74, and we're pushing into our 500s now. So let's see we interact with this liquidity above. Move stops up, and yeah, that's the trade. You love to see it. This is NQADR. ES and RTY still have room, so you have the ability to leave a runner if Russell can start to build above the 77.3. ES target has not changed. We are looking for a rotation into our 90. Secondary target for NQ can be a 510 above. Once we get over 510s, we can start to look for a bit higher rotations back into this upper structure. That would look something like this. into our 25 to 30. I expect NQ to kind of have to chop around here if we're not just going to squeeze. So keep in mind that we'd want to see a pretty strong retest of 510 for confirmation, or a structural kind of retest of these lows makes sense into 500s. So keeping an eye on this off of our rotation into 518. See if we then are able to bid here and hold this squeeze candle up into our 510s and then rotate up into like 530 ideally. As long as Russell has momentum, we're okay. This is where we want to see that dip and then bid if liquidity is going to persist as we push down into 506, 510. Failure here, again, is just going to show that we're going to need to rotate back down to our lows. So keeping that in mind. Our bid is sitting at 500s and then at 488 below us. So for this move to be valid, we're going to want to see 500s bid, and then we want to see a recovery of our 510 for confirmation. Where you expect this to be where your offer is sitting, where we wanted to see that liquidity hold. We took out the POC, the VPOC that was sitting here into our 517, which is why we thought a pullback was likely. And now it's just about building out above ADR, right? Russell momentum loss, so keep that in mind. You need to see that final low before you want to interact here. Yeah, we just took out that VPOC sauce. It showed on the levels indicator. Our big old liquidity is down at 490 to 480. So any larger pullbacks, that's what we're going to be keeping an eye on. I won't be attempting this until I see ES bid at our value edge here as we push down into 80s and RTY find this low. As long as that's happening, then we can keep going up. Again, expect your offer to be sitting here. We wanted to see a recovery of this zone where we wanted to see the bid initially, where those buyers are now trapped. And then we can push up. Or expect this to be your resistance from the look below. Watching our reaction into 510 offer. I'd like to see this flip bid if we are going to continue higher. See if we can get a bit of a flag here, 505, 510, see if this bid can hold and then make a new high. First risk off here into our wick high on NQ if you're playing off of 510s. We want to see ideally a rotation into like 20s at least. This just kind of stalls out. It's just not ready yet. Later, kids. There's your first target here into 20s. RTY retesting high. Good hold of our 10s. 10 points so far. We'll see if we get our push. Again, it's just about recovering these levels. Like, yes, we get our low, right? We've now trapped. Now we're looking for a recovery of our bid, and then we get our push higher. Don't have to snipe the low to play a rebid and then play up, right? It's just the safer option. Hey, caffeine. Come on, RTY, don't do it. Minute 15 left on this candle. Just holding our 20 so far. Bit concerned that if we can't see a new high soon, that we're gonna have to fill this LVN on NQ first and go for this liquidity, and then can go higher. $30. I have one runner from 510, just waiting to see if we can get to 35. Again, just a bit concerned that into new 15s, we might need to go for that LVN liquidity below first. If Russell can't pop and NQ can't get over these highs at 20, 26. Really 30, but you know. Offer seems very willing to just kind of take into 28s as of right now. I'm out here. I'm just gonna wait. It's not worth giving up 15 points for an extra 5 points into target for me. I'm fine. I'll wait for a better trade. Still holding POC a previous candle, so there's nothing really to worry about. I'm just seeing that stalling. Like, wow, is that really worth me giving up points for no reason? Because I wanted to hit my target exactly. Not really. If Russell was a bit more bullish in its price action, I would hold. If not, then I'm just gonna wait. But I still think ADR target makes a lot of sense. But until then, we'll just chill. This is that move that I was concerned about and why I risked off. It's just the stalling up into our 28s. Now just filling this liquidity down. Just keeping an eye on this area now that we've filled the LVN. I'd like to see a pretty strong hold back over 28s if we were going to get the bid. Again, remember, this is just a seek of liquidity off of getting kind of stalled out here. Now we're just watching to see if a bid can show its hand, and then we can rotate back up with fresh liquidity trapped into our lows. Some sellers trapped and bids, showing interest. If that can't happen, then this is the move for right now, right? But that is why I risked off. It wasn't worth the risk anymore. 5-point upside for, you know, like a 15-point downside, taking into my profit is just stupid. Not good risk to reward. Dubs, these new anime names are getting out of hand. There's a... Like, what is this, man? What in the fake One Piece is this? How is that a title of a show? What is going on? Yeah, it's a good first risk off. I personally didn't play the LVN fill, but if you are playing the LVN fill, following our pathing, understand that we need to show interest back above our 25-28 and then bid there for a breakout continuation. I'm interested in this area if we can get the secondary move. But if you did play the LVN and follow our pathing down, understand that we are looking for this to be your first risk off as we rotate back into this as resistance. It's a good scalp. Yeah, perfect trade. Good stuff. And again, like stuff like that can be pretty easily predicted once we start to stall out. It's like, okay, well, where was our last liquidity, right? What do we need to do to correct structure, and where should we be looking? And you can easily find those kind of that kind of information just off of our volume profile. That's how we figured this out. It's like as soon as we start to see sell side kind of be willing to kind of to just take, right? Take in, and it's very passive up here from buyers, and sellers are just kind of adamant to hold. It's like, okay, well, this is stalling out into our highs, and we aren't seeing anything on ES or RTY that are telling me that we want to continue higher in the short term. So if that's the case, what are we looking for as a pullback level of where liquidity might be present, right? And then you are just gauging that by how our structure looks, right? So we know we have this upper auction. We call our higher volume nodes our auctions, right? And then we have these lower auctions, which is just this this LVN, right? This the push through our previous auction. So if we're going to find liquidity, right, it's going to be in our LVN back to our high volume node, right? Back into this node here. So I'm looking for this structure to get filled. very quickly. And then we're looking for a bid to be present here, right, where value was last. So just like being able to eyeball that and know that that is a potential scenario can really help you kind of nail where we're headed and where we're most likely going to go once we get there. For scalping, I had that happen to me, Darian, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. And I was using this new AI insurance company called Lemonade, and I had to get a new card because I'd lost my old one, and they still were attempting to bill me on the other one, and they didn't cancel it. So there was a bunch of, quote unquote, late payments trying to be charged to my old card, even though I had updated it. And so there was like a call, like someone like trying to collect on me, even though I had new payment information plugged in. They just kept trying to charge the old card and didn't cancel. So I don't know if it's worse that they just canceled or if they tried to like put a debt collector on me. It's just so stupid. When you automate your entire business with AI, it's like it's stupid stuff's bound to happen. I canceled them right after that. Not worth. Holy shit, what a candle. Hello? What was that? Alright, well, don't touch anything, guys. I don't know what this is. Offer very clearly still at 28s, though. There's no news that I can see. Russell unaffected by this move. With RTY holding, I'm kind of expecting this to just be fully retraced back up to 28s. I don't know what this is, but that's my opinion without understanding if this is news-based or not. Russell finding bids just makes me think that this is just volatility. And in a low liquid environment, someone trying to get filled all at once. But we'll see. If news starts to come, I'll let you know. Holding ADR so far on NQ. There's like 300 contracts trying to get filled into that. We need to get over 20 to 28, or that's just where you expect your offer to be sitting. I still see zero news. So I think it's just low liquidity and someone trying to get filled. All right, fully retraced with Russell holding. Is always a good sign. I'm not in this. I'm waiting. I'd like to see a bid back over 28s, and then we can get some excitement and a push. Until then, just trapped at our reoffer here. POC retested previous candle, so far rejecting pretty harshly. We have 9 minutes left on this candle. I don't know, man. All right, let's see what happens here. I want to see something that is very clear. I want to see a flag form here if we're going to hold. And then I want to see a very big pop trapped with these guys who are trapped down here. If this just rejects and continues to reject here, I'm not touching it. I need that to be very clear. We need to see a secondary buyer show and the seller to be gone. We've got liquidity at 22s on NQ. See if we can flag here. I want to see a very clear willingness to bid above POC of the previous candle that we just sold off on. Watching our bid back into 22. Russell almost at ADR. Okay. Stalling out here a bit again. Okay, can I delete the right thing, please? Looks fine to me so far. Got a bid and hold of our 22s, attempting now above our highs. Very clear build above our POC of previous candle, just like we talked about. I'm a bit concerned about Russell into ADR, but as long as that has momentum, we are in an okay situation. We have 4 minutes left on this candle. I get worried about bull side under this 22 to 17 area below us. Watching our structural test here on NQ. Bid will attempt to hold our break of structure. See if we can get above the seller and now bid here. I don't have a lot of information to go off of up here, sadly, so Things that we know is that Russell ADR is here into our highs. We were able to hold our lows and break out of this structure. We got this little liquidity look, and then we were able to then continue and run off of that. This is ES ADR as well. And our value edge, we are looking for a very clear willingness to bid above for expansion, and we shouldn't be looking for expansion until that happens. Until then, your range on ES is this 90 to 80. We need to see this very clear look above for that break. Or expect oscillation to kind of continue just within balance here. And again, buy side liquidity is resting here into this 22 area. So these dips we want to see get bought very quickly. And then we want to see this really kind of develop out. If this can't happen, I've got nothing. Yeah, it's good so far. 50 seconds left. I mean, it's at ADR, man. It's at target. If a bid can happen here on Russell into our 80.3, 79.5 area. We need to see this higher low bid, then go for ADR high again. Or we lose a ton of momentum. NQ currently retesting POC of previous candle. ES, top of range, no change. Oh, slow down. Is ES holding our value edge, or attempting at least, at ADR? I'd like to see this pop if it was, hopefully that takes everything else up with it. We can hold our value edge up to like 96. Failure here would be pretty problematic, so it would be a re-entry of our range and then a full rotation. Just got filled 1 at 43s. Okay. I'm gonna grab some water. I get stopped out on my runner below 32. I'm bearish under 20s. I'll be right back. Okay. Yeah, I think offer takes control under 20. Until then, this is where you expect your bid to be. We're just watching to see if we can fill here and hold. Is there enough buying that's basically happening between this 20 to 30 area? Again, I get kind of bearish below that. I just really don't like the structure up here.
NYMEX natural gas February futures settle at $3.34. Gasoline February futures at $2.05. Diesel February futures at $2.34. Finally, WTI crude February futures settle at $73.96, which is up 83 cents or 1.13%.
Nice. Maybe Mario will go over it on Monday. I'm not done. I don't do anything with classes anymore.
So two US House representatives switch votes to support Speaker Johnson for the Speaker, tipping the vote count in his favor, just to keep you updated as the vote is ongoing.
I said maybe Mario will go over it on Monday. You're good. I'm eating Ritz crackers, so it may have been hard to hear me. I don't know. I'm snacking. Buyers seem pretty responsive right now. Yeah, I mean, they're where they need to be. But I need to see a new high. It was a very nice bid off of our Russell zone at that 79.5 to 83, 80.3. Same thing with our 20 to 30 area on NQ. But like, what the hell is up here? I don't know. Like, usually when I don't have levels to play off of, I use trend, but the trend is so poor, like I don't want to touch it. Like, these pullbacks don't feel great. Good trade. $43 is where I risked off. You need to see a very clear hold above this, like 43, 45 area, and then we can trade up to 60. Until then, this is kind of it. See if RTY can keep going. Shoot, I guess. I like the move at 34
Trump-backed
better.
Speaker Johnson wins the vote to remain as House Speaker.
I don't have enough information on that candle that you put an arrow on. But I do like the pop that happened after it, and then the consolidation into our 34 off of that very bullish candle, right? To then be like, okay, there's a buyer that we can now interact with, and now we're getting best price now that it's filled the imbalance that that candle created, and then we go higher. This is what we're talking about. Here, I'll zoom in for you guys. So he talked about this candle here. But what I'm saying is, once we've seen this initial reaction and this look above that's very clear, right? We have a bid who stepped in. He showed interest, and it is a one-sided candle, right? Just full buyers. This is where you can start to look interested for a like a backfill or a rebid, right? Because now we're looking to fill this structure, and if this can hold, this is your FEG fill, and then we're looking for our bids to really push off of this, because this is a buyer initiating price above our halfway back and a break of our structure. And now I'm looking for a continuation up off of that. I just don't have enough information on that candle, at least. I wasn't watching Dom, so maybe there was more. But I don't like that it's resistance. Like, I just don't have enough information, personally. But it seems like you made money off of it, so it's whatever. This is Russell next target. We're about halfway to target here for me on NQ. Again, looking for 60. I don't know, Tom. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you win this one. Almost pushing into target here. I think pushing into like this 15,760 is a good first risk off, or you want to at least be moving your stops down, moving your stops up. Watching for Russell to find a higher low here, ideally at our rebid reversal line for continuation. This is our reversion target on stacked for NQ. Same for ES into our 97s. Good trades. Rebid holding so far on RTY. See if we can get a bit more.
Brent crude futures settle at $76.51 a barrel. That's up 58 cents or 0.76%.
What's everyone's favorite type of apple? I like a Honey Crisp. Tom's gonna say something crazy. He's gonna be like Granny Smith. Galas? Yeah, galas are alright. I always feel like when I eat a gala that it's just like a worse version of a Honey Crisp. Like the skin just feels a little too waxy to me. I've never heard of a Cortland. Cortland apple. Oh, I've definitely eaten a Cortland apple though. This is like what I feel like these are what are in like the bulk bags. The little smaller apples. I could be wrong. They look like them though. Interesting. Honey Crisps are too soft? Really? Too soft. Yeah, maybe. They grow here where I am, so maybe I just have like the better apple. It is definitely possible. Brayburn. What is a Brayburn apple? What is that? Calville Blanc. A snow Calville. Okay. Sweet spicy is how it's described. Would you agree with that? Spicy is crazy. It's a cooking apple? Is that that's what it says online. Ooh, you're lucky to have that orange tree. That's the dream. Fruit tree in the yard. All right, well, we rejected 60s pretty heavily, guys. Russell went to target, rejected. ES retesting our value edge. I don't really have a ton of information here. Again, it's like just what I said earlier. Like, there's just not a ton to go off of. The only thing that I really see that's an advantageous level that we can play around is like 30-35 below us, as well as 54 to 60 above us. offer should be sitting somewhere around here into 54 to 60 on retest if sell side's in control. And we know that there's a bid at 35. So I'm just going to be keeping an eye on these two areas and how we interact around them. What? That just pasted? Because I searched it on Google. That's funny. Just kind of keeping an eye on the interactions around these two pivots, with our 45 being our mid. Other than that, I don't really see much for right now. The high-low zones on PVZ are like extensions off of the PVZ value area, right? Are you talking about the boxes?
So just noting Brent crude futures settling at their highest since October 14th on cold weather alongside Chinese policy support.
Like you're talking about this right here, right? This box, the gradient box. Yeah, okay, the gradient box. Yeah, so that's that we I refer to that as our reversion box. So in a balanced market, we expect price to kind of find a seller naturally there and then rotate back down to our value edge in a balanced market. When we're in a trending market, we'll have our PVZ AVWAP cloud, this gray cloud, basically hold as supportive while we rotate through it. And that's a trending market that's going up. But you'll expect reversion signals pretty likely to kind of start spawning the signal here, and it's looking for a reversion back down to first target being our anchored VWAP cloud, which is what we just hit, and then second target once this goes resistance would be a full rotation back down to our 488. But yeah, that's where you expect sell side to be, which is why I always risk off into it. It's a deviation based off of our period's value. So it's just like a very mathematical level of like, okay, if we're in balance, we expect this much of a move away from it. They work incredibly well on balance days. Or like slower action where we've kind of like sustained in a certain area for a period. Satsumas, they grow in the south? Hmm. Man, I had a bunch of fruit trees in my yard. I don't know what they were when I was in Georgia, but it was so good. People would like come and rob me. They'd bring like trash bags, all the students, and they would just like fill up with all this fruit. I don't know what the name of it is. Let me see if I can find it. It was like a smaller. It was a bit smaller than a golf ball, and it had a pretty decently sized pit in it. Nah, it wasn't a fig. Hmm. Let me see if I can find it. Persimmon, maybe. Let me look. These look too big. But this is pretty close. Damn, this is gonna drive me crazy. That's our full rotation on NQ. Back down to our 35 to 30 area. We'll watch to see how we interact here. Watching to see if RTY can make a new low or not. The offer needs to be here. Like, this area needs to go sell side for us to really see any sort of major shift. We expect sell side to really try to show their hand here. And if they fail, they get stuffed again. And you can see the battle that I was just talking about. Let's see if they can do it. Or if Bid's able to eat them up. Also got to look below. Pretty strong bid so far. Need to get over 45s for break of downtrend, or offer will be sitting there above, meaning that's your first target. If you are trading off of this 30. Is that where you got 60 target? Yeah, exactly. All stacked, baby. Pawpaw? I've never heard of that, so maybe. I can't speak for anyone else. I don't know anyone else's P&O, but I did pretty well on the long-term end as well as futures. Very, very well. With Bitcoin doing as much as it did, my long-term is looking pretty good. Same with Netflix. Actually, not Netflix, Nvidia. That was pretty much... Didn't have to do much for that one. And in futures, we've been kind of just running steadily up and up. I wish I could do larger ranges to show performance on Intraday. They only allow you to like do it like a month at a time, not even. Like I wish I could just give you like this year. But it just says too long of a range when I say last year. So I'd have to like, I can't even download a CSV because it won't put that information into a CSV. Kind of very annoying. I don't think it was a pawpaw serve, but this looks really good. These look too big. It was like a bit larger than a cherry, I feel like. And it was a bit orange in color. And it was not a fig. I know that for sure. Maybe it was a pawpaw. I don't know. These look way too large. Nah, nectarine is still too big. It's like a little bit larger than a cherry. But maybe it was an apricot. Hmm. Yeah, I think it may be some sort of... It's definitely not a kumquat because it didn't have like the orangey consistency in the inside. It was more and it had a big seed in the center. Apricot is the closest I've seen so far. It's gonna drive me crazy. But yeah, there was like 4 or 5 of them, and students would just come and like it was the like a rite of passage. All of the freshmen and sophomores would come and steal all of the fruit. It was so good. All right, pushing down into ADR. If you're playing off of this offer and rotation down, we're seeing that acceleration that we talked about on sellers needing it to get under 30s. I don't think that there is a great entry unless you're willing to just trade off the halfway back and then play the acceleration down. That's really it. Just watching to see now how we interact here. I'd like to see trend kind of continue from sell side and continue this rotation down. Watching for our offer into 525 area. Yeah, 2025, I think, sauce. You can get a little bullish if we start to show any interest over 30s, but you should expect your sell side to be sitting here in this 2025, I think. Just right into our stacked rebid reversal. See if our offer can lower here for that leg down. Delete this, so this is over. We need to see offer step below 13. And 13. This is what I'm watching. I don't want this high or low. I want that offer below it so that we can rotate to 500. I think you're onto something about the apricot. Unless it's something Asian. I'm about to go into Google Street View and try to find my old place and see if I can look it up based off of what the tree looks like. This is a good first risk off. We're watching to see if the offer really starts to accelerate below 13s as we push down into our low. If this can happen, we'll be looking for first target into 500s, secondary target into 88. If we can see this offer continue to just kind of step down here. Very nice re-offer into our 2025. Don't really have, like, we have to show interest at below 500s or we're just going to bid there again and again and again. Like, if you look at the 15, look at the how serious our bid has been into this low. Like, it's not, there's someone here willing. We got to show interest below this or anything more. But I think as soon as we do, we just head to 85s. Let me go for this liquidity here. But this area here has been demand so far. I'm going to change this. Which time do we have left? 7.5 minutes on this candle. I can do a lot here. We need Russell weakness for anything more, or we're going to go back up to 25 here. Watching for something like... watching for the offer into 80.7, and then look back below if downtrend's going to persist. Again, watching this 25 area on NQ. I think we just need to wait for Russell to find resistance again before next leg. Need the offer to step down below on RTY here off of that rejection. 79.5 now hold ideally, following pathing. And Q held our 25 just in this red box. Need a push down. If sell side kind of stalls out here, it's in the bids court to punish. I don't know where to put my stop here. I don't like that. Russell pushing up. I don't like this. I think we have 3 minutes of chop on our hands until new 15s. I have one short from 25, stop above 32, and I don't like this trade anymore, but I'm going to keep it. Short. It's messy trade though. Like our offer held really well in NQ and ES, but I don't like that rotation on Russell. And then again, like this area below is just so violent from 500 to 510. Like this is just where the bid is. Like we gotta see sell side step below 500s, or it's just gonna be more of the same balance garbage. It's definitely not a berry, Teddy. It was a tree for sure. Oh, you know what it could have been? Oh. Let me look at what these trees look like. Subflex. Happy New Year. $15 to new 15-minute candles. Still just chopping here. Balance between our 25 and 13. No change. Russell leading up. That divergence is gross. Watching how we interact here back into our 82.3. ES still flat with ADR's resistance at our 90. I think it was a longan. A longan tree. It's an Asian fruit. Almost positive that this is what it was. These are so good. The type of like lychee, I believe. LONGAN. POC is shifted up here at our 20 level. As long as that's holding, this trade's a bit iffy. We've got this offer above us into 32, which is the only reason why I'm even kind of bearish here. It's because I'm still just looking at this offer that's sitting here, right? As this is our resistance. This 25 to like 32 area, but it just feels really bad. I think this it might be time to call it quits on this one for break even. We push back below 20s, I'll consider this again. There's nothing's invalidated about the trade. Again, I was shorting 25s with the stop above our 32. Nothing's invalidated there, but Russell's leading upside, and we're holding our 20 right now, and that's a bit iffy. So I'm just gonna chill for a bit. Yeah, like the trade played, it is what it is. I can't be bothered. I didn't take profit the last time we were at 13s, and I wasn't gonna take profit again at 13s. We're just balanced. Can't be bothered. Good offer at 20s. Like I wasn't gonna take profit there on that test either, just like I said. So there's stopping out break even's fine with me. I don't care. No interest in trading this balance with Russell pushing. Back to our lower range off of our rejection of our 25. Again, there's just so much buy-side liquidity down here that I just don't have a great answer for you until we push below 500s. Just balance. Witchfire? Never even heard of it. You know, it sucks, but this is one of those things where we can have the proper levels, but I just didn't feel comfortable with the execution. And it is what it is, right? So it's just balance. It's what we thought it would be. I shouldn't have psyched myself out into 25s, but it's okay. This is that area for me. So I shorted it twice and was profitable on it, and then my third attempt, I just stopped out for break even, just like I said I was. There's just nothing here until we get below this 510 to 500 or above this 25 to 32. Unless you're willing to trade the range. And I usually don't trade when there's Russell divergence. It's just not worth it. It came out in 2023. What? Yeah, I've never heard of those. Of course, Vargs played it. My man's a gamer. It looks fun. I'm watching this 15 minutes of gameplay. I played about 15 minutes of Marvel Rivals. I don't know, man. I think if you liked Overwatch, it's fun. I think I'm just like too old for those kind of games. Like they just don't interest me. I don't have the time to get good at them anymore. And so they're not very appealing because I can't dedicate 2,000 hours to playing the game. You know what I mean? But I think if you had 2,000 hours that you didn't care about, it would be really fun. Like if I was like 16 again, I would love that game. Yeah, exactly, Teddy. Like I don't have time for competitive games anymore. It's just too exhausting. Russell rejected our ADR high again into 85.1, leading to a pretty solid push down and new low on NQ from our 25 resistance. Still just into this basing at 500 to 510. We know liquidity is here. We need to see a very clear and sharp push below this 500 for reversion trades downward. Until then, again, this is just our basing. We're watching RTY to help lead us. Until then, think of this as where buy side is most likely going to be. It sucks I didn't stay in this trade, but I just It is what it is. Can't win them all. Yeah, I feel that. I was the same way for League of Legends. It's just too much time, man. And you have to like continuously play because they add characters all the time, and if you like fall off for a season, like you are just behind. There are new items, there's new meta, there's new everything. It's too much. Like ruined one of like my better relationships at the time playing League of Legends when I was in college. It's like just so not worth. 500 bid still very much there. Back to our 510s, and our Russell still holding our ADR 82.3. Immediate bids. Watching to see if offer is willing to hold here at this 510 or if we rotate back up. Yeah, RTSs I can definitely still get behind. Anything that I can pause or I can set my own goals and accomplish something that I want and then like close the game and not feel terrible like I'm losing if I stop playing is like the game for me these days. Anything else is just too much. Like even V Rising now, which is probably my favorite game that's come out in the last like 10 years, I don't even know if I could do that. It just requires you to be online for too much because of the PvP aspect. Like our levels are really good, right? I just didn't feel comfortable executing in there, and that's perfectly fine. It is what it is. We identified the areas very clearly and early on identified that it would be most likely chop. And now it's just a waiting game. 500 to 532. I thought the same thing, Teddy. I thought that was going to be Throne and Liberty, and I bought all of the boosters, and I bought the battle pass, and I bought the leveling pass, and then I never logged in. Yeah, I played like 100 hours of the beta before it was released, and was like, "Oh, this is it. This is it. I'm gonna play this game all the time." And then when it actually released, I made a character and then never touched the game. Oh yeah, shit. What's the name of that game? Star Citizen? Is that it? Yeah, that game is so expensive. So your first risk off as we approach 25s off of either the bid at 500s or 510s if you are playing this range for whatever reason. Russell's just oscillating in between ADR. That's crazy buying that much and only playing 5 hours. That's wild. I'm playing a mobile game right now. That's how I know that I'm like actually it's over for me. I'm a phone gamer now. Yeah. Pokemon trading card game? Nah, I'm not playing that. I'm playing this game called Last War. It's basically like a I don't even know how to describe it. It's a war game. Lots of people and politics involved. No, but I should have bought the 100K account because I'm going to end up spending that on my own account. Prop account? No, we're talking about a video game, Dubs. One of my friends quit the game and he had spent about $70,000 on it and was selling his account for 2K, and I had the opportunity to buy it and I didn't. The game's called The Last War. It's a stupid gacha game. I enjoy it, but it is not for those who want to play free to play, that's for sure. Yeah, and a couple hundred is like light work in those kind of games. Easy. Easy to spend a couple hundred. The alliance that I'm in, which is 100 people, during the last event, probably spent upwards of 60K between all 100 people, easily. Just us, our alliance. Base skins in that game are $500. And 90% of the alliance that I'm in bought base skins. So just to get perspective. And people complain about like Overwatch, like a $20 skin. It's called Last War Survival. me see if I can look up my time spent in this game on my phone. I don't know how to do that on an Android. Maybe in like battery settings. $14 seconds until new 15s. You can really see how badly sell side wants us to push below this 500. Like, it is obvious. This is what our this low looks like on footprint right now. How much we're stacking down here. See if sell side can do it or if they get absorbed again. Russell's still just oscillating in between our two levels. Nothing really to say here. Just oscillating between those. $16,000 hours in RimWorld is crazy. I think that there's a pretty solid chance to squeeze sellers if we get a bid over 10s. If sellers can keep this below that 10 bid, I like that 88 target below us. If bids are able to show any sort of interest here, right, continue to absorb into this low, and then bid us back up, I think that we see a push over our 25s, punishing these guys for stalling out here. Again, though, if we can show any interest below 500s and then hold that from a 510 offer, we should head down to our PVC target down at 87. Just keeping an eye here into our 510 test, seeing if offer is going to be able to smack this thing down or if bid's able to step up and punish these sellers. Russell top of range. So far, offer holding 510. Russell top of range holding. ES diverging a bit from NQ and RTY. Testing lows. What's different about ES is that POC is shifted up here into this upper node. And we're holding it as resistance. All right, this is a big deal if we can hold here. Sell side is going to attempt. You should be moving your stops down if you're playing short off of 510. If you are looking to play short off of 500s, we're looking to see a re-offer here and then a rotation down into 87s with Russell following through. ES target is this 81 off of PVZ, and we're looking to see if Russell can do this full oscillation down, giving us room on NQ for this continuation. This is our halfway back on RTY here. This is first target on NQ off of the failure to get back over 500s. This is PVZ target 1 at 87s. Target 2, 74.
One minute till we get the market on close imbalance.
It scared the crap out of me. Why is he so loud? No, I think that was a good entry, Sauce. I think because we knew what was going to happen if we breached 500s. We knew it, right? That acceleration trade totally makes sense. Especially while having Russell into our highs, right? Like we know that this is resistance. So unless something's going to change, we should expect more of the same, which is weakness here, allowing for movement down into our PVC targets. And remember, like this is our overall target for this move, right? Remember what happened. We got our reversion signals here into our reversion zone off of PVZ. And we have now done the full rotation down into target of a value high.
Side of 30 million, Nasdaq 100 a sell side of 415 million, Dow 30 a buy side of 125 million, and the Mag 7 a buy side of 105 million.
Right, so now like PVZ reversion trade is now fully played, is what I'm trying to get at. And if we start to hold 87 as offer, right, then we start to rotate through down to 74, and then 74 goes offer, then we rotate down, and then we retrace back down into like VWAP, right? This is secondary target here on NQ. I'm risked off into 74s. If we push below 74, there's definitely room. But, yeah. So just so here's the full perspective of just being patient and waiting for that balance break. Right? Like, could we have played the 25 down to 500? Yeah, definitely, right? That's the balance trade. But understanding what happens on the break of balance and then playing the acceleration down on the reoffer, right, on the break, and then we just trade to target. So you can see that after I took the break even here, on my last one into 25s, I didn't touch this. We just waited for the breach below, and then we play it down. We get the same amount of points in a minute instead of an hour. Just being patient. Mm-hmm. Here, and this is what that looked like on Footprint, just to give a... Now that you've seen, I'm going to just reply to the last one. Reply. So do you see how we can kind of predict that acceleration by how much stacking is occurring into that low? So as soon as we are able to breach it, it's like, oh, okay, oh shit. Like we need to be able to push and hold above this, or these guys are going to get trapped. And so that's what happened, is that we see that liquidity into 508 get trapped, and then we immediately push back down. And as soon as we push below that 500, we see that acceleration, that follow through. You can see the same thing here, which is sellers stacking on footprint. We get our look above into this, trapping these buyers, and then we get sell side acceleration here through that 500. So it's just understanding the principles of like what we expect to happen based off of buyers and sellers are accumulating. And again, it's just our full oscillation of our Russell pivot, right? Where did we find a bid? Well, we found a bid into our target on NQ. Well, where's that target on Russell? Well, it's the bottom of our oscillation, right? So we should probably take profit unless Russell's going to show a new low, right? So as we push down into this, you take your risk off. Russell's back to the high. Oh, okay. Well, I should probably be looking to take some risk off again. That correlates with our 510s on NQ, right? If Russell can breach out of this range, we can see that bid over 510s, then we get a squeeze. Until then, this is offer. Don't make your job harder than it needs to be. Wait for correlation. The reason why we didn't trade this again after stopping out for break even at 25s is because we had divergence. Once we start to show that balance also occurring on Russell, it's like, oh, okay, we can now play this because we have two very defined pivots on RTY. ES has a very clearly defined target, and we have a clearly defined target on NQ. Like now it's worth playing because we have the market moving together in its rotations, at least. Not the same movement in the sense of like ES and NQ
So judge says
look
that Trump
very
may appear
close
for January 10th sentencing in hush money criminal case, either in person or virtually.
in its movements in the sense of like what PA actually looks like, right? Like we can see the same thing here. Whereas Russell is just doing, we're using this as an oscillating signal where bid happens into the lows for the market, sells happen into the highs, right? And that's giving us these moves on NQ and ES. But we at least have correlation and rotation, not exact price movement. But if we can recognize that, it's playable. We'll watch to see if RTY can hold here into close. We can hold break of structure with NQ holding 510s.
And according to a court ruling, judge says he is not
bid
inclined
potential
to
is
impose any
pretty
jail
high.
sentence on Trump.
Does that like correlation of rotations idea make sense? I mean, it's not a new concept, but like I want to make sure you can at least visualize what I'm talking about. Same with the acceleration below 500s with what we were seeing on footprint. Those two ideas we just went over make sense based off of what I showed and where I was trading. Okay. I probably won't take anything else. We're just watching to see if we can find value here at 500, 510 and look over. There's 2 minutes left in the day. I think a squeeze after on session close is pretty likely, at least back up to 530 if we can hold 500s, but there's no need to play it for me personally. Here's your move from your hold and your push now into target. You played it. Good first risk off. You've got 7 seconds until close. Move is now completed. Congrats. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's just balance, right? So we re-entered balance. And why can we expect that target to hit? Well, we have excess below. We've shown a willingness to trade through, and now we trade to target, which is top of balance, right? And now you rotate back through. It is what it is. You as well, Teddy. Appreciate you hanging out. Yeah, pretty boring day. Pretty solid week, though, overall, for only trading 3 days of it. Yeah, it'll start becoming, liquidity will start coming back. I don't know if it'll be as soon as next week, and maybe like 2/3 liquidity, right? But it'll start coming back. All right, guys.
Kugler says the economy ended 2024 in a good place with good growth.
Surely. That's it for me. If you have any questions, concerns, anything you want to talk about, let me know. I will be semi around this weekend, so I'll respond when I can. Other than that, I will talk to you all next week.
The process of disinflation has kept going.
Peace.
The labor market remains resilient.